The infamous Rolling Stone article entitled "A Rape on Campus" has been thoroughly discredited. It relied on the single voice of Jackie, who claimed she had been gang raped at a fraternity. But now the tables have turned, and Jackie is being deposed in a defamation suit, raising the question, why not use her real name? When the story first broke, it roiled the campus at the University of Virginia.
Not one more!
And that campus rape quickly became national news.
A major American university tonight has a lot to answer for.
A woman identified only as Jackie claimed she had been brutally gang raped at a fraternity and got an apathetic response from both the school and her friends, who now deny her account.
I don't recall any injuries at all.
Yeah, the whole conversation that was described in the article absolutely never happened.
But the whole story unraveled. Multiple investigations by the Washington Post, Columbia Journalism Review, and the Charlottesville police found no evidence a rape ever occurred, and they slammed reporter Sabrina Erderly for shoddy journalism.
Irresponsible journalism unjustly damaged the reputations of many innocent individuals and the University of Virginia.
Rolling Stone has retracted the story, and UVA Associate Dean Nicole Aramo has filed suit against the paper, claiming they cast her as the chief villain. Now the lawsuit has put Jackie back in the news, but she still has not been identified by any major news outlets. Her name has been out there, but not by, prominent news organizations. The Washington Post says they made a deal with her because they went and interviewed her independently from Rolling Stone, and they promised to keep her identity secret. So that's fine, I understand that. But everybody else, and when you compare this to what happened during the Duke Lacrosse incident of 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, however long it goes, that was a poor black woman. Her name was out there almost instantly as soon as she had been discredited. Jackie, I have seen pictures of her, seems to be a fairly well-to-do white woman, very attractive. I mean, I think there's a double standard here. And why not name her? I mean, I know her name. I can't say it because I don't know for a fact that's who she is, but apparently her name is Jackie.
I have to tell you, I come down on the side of using her name at this point, and I would not have if there was even some question about whether her account was credible. In part because journalism ought to use names whenever you can. In this particular case, other people's reputations have been severely damaged by what is likely to have been a falsehood. I also question why would the Washington Post not have some kind of a clause in that agreement that said, we will maintain your anonymity and protect your identity unless we find out that what we're told is wrong. And that's the kind of agreement that I make with somebody if I'm going to let them go off the record. You're off the record until I find out what you've told me is a lie, and then we're on the record.
I might be wrong. Did they make that agreement? And I'm genuinely not sure. I think they maybe made the agreement to keep her identity confidential when they were looking to discredit her story. So they already knew that was the premise of their engagement with her. I think that I am sympathetic to the argument that she is not the one who screwed up here. The one who, the party that screwed up here is Rolling Stone. If the journalists at Rolling Stone had done their job right, this bogus account, if indeed it is a bogus account, it seems to be, would never have gotten out there in the first place. I think that's a somewhat convincing argument not to name her. I would, however, like to see the deposition not sealed. I mean, we're not going to know what she has to say. The attorneys for the plaintiff are not going to be allowed to ask her about her account of the alleged assault. That I can understand a little bit, but why they would just seal it entirely? This was a huge public story, bad for an institution, bad for women who are sexually assaulted on campus and want people to take them seriously. I'd like to know what she has to say.
I'm with Adam. I think that her name should remain anonymous for now, because she's not on trial here. Rolling Stone
She's been
is,
sued.
That's right. Rolling Stone is on trial, and the magazine reporter's on trial, not her. It was the onus was on the magazine and the reporter to vet her story. I mean, I think Duke was a different case. She was involved. She was accused of lying, and it was the whole case was.
I don't see the difference.
Well, but that's the suit. She was named in the suit. Jackie is not
that's true.
not the target of the suit. She's just a witness.
True.
Well, I mean, granted, Duke shows that there's a double standard, but there's always a double standard. And without judging whether the right decision was made in the Duke case, I would not name Jackie. The reason I wouldn't name her is that even though Cher's story has been thoroughly discredited, she's still hanging on to a thread of this. She's saying something happened.
Yeah.
So she remains a victim of an,
So did the Duke woman.
an alleged victim of a sexual
The
assault.
Duke woman
And-
never retracted either.
and well, like I said, there were double standards at work, and maybe the calculation made in the Duke case was wrong.
Yeah, but you know,
but I would not
she's
name
alleging
Jackie.
that something happened with absolutely no evidence, not medical evidence,
No, I know.
evidence of no
I know.
kind.
There wasn't even
So,
a party that night.
yeah, if this had happened, if somebody accused somebody of committing or some place of being responsible for a terrible act, and it didn't involve sexual assault, we would have no hesitation to reporting
I
that
would name
name.
it.
By the way, there's also this school of thought, I think Geneva Overholser, among
Yeah.
others, makes this argument. I think it's a very interesting argument that not naming the alleged victims of sexual assault perpetuates the shame that is
I agree with
attached to this crime
Right.
and is something that we should really rethink.
I agree with that.